Crypto gaming nodes are exploding right now, with some giving 4x returns just on the launch of their tokens. I wanted to break this down because DePIN may very well be the biggest sector for crypto gaming during this bull cycle. You're not going to want to miss this out. I'm going to give you the breakdown on what are these little DePIN nodes, why are people so excited for these, the breakdown on earnings for them, as well as past opportunities and future opportunities alike. So if you enjoy this kind of content, if you enjoy this super video on nodes, like and subscribe, join the Discord below, Legion. We give you alpha every single day, and we give you whitelists on some of these nodes too. So do it, and let's get into it. So I want to break this down. What is DePIN? Because I just said this term. If you're new to crypto, you're definitely not going to know. It's a decentralized physical infrastructure network. The easiest way of breaking it down, it's a bunch of these little physical devices. Just think of like your cell phone or something like that, spread out all over the world, going ahead and verifying blockchain transactions. Why that's cool is because if it was just one centralized location, they shut it down, the entire blockchain is over. But with DePIN, they allow people to have it all over the world. So if one of them goes down or half of them go down, you still have the other half spread out all over the world to make sure that your blockchain is okay. But the thing is, I'm not going to lie to you. The main use case for this isn't for the DePIN narrative. Most of the time with crypto gaming nodes, it's a fundraising model. They want to raise money, and so they offer these nodes with a percentage of their supply, ranging all the way from 3 to 50% of their total supply to people that are speculating into these ecosystems. They make their money, and then they get long-term supporters that want to support them. A great example of why this makes sense is the pre-sale model that a lot of these cryptocurrencies are doing right now, where they'll give private sale investors 3 to 20% of their total supply just for buying into their token early. But why not just do public node sales where you can offer this to people publicly? They can get into these nodes. Not only are they helping run your blockchain, but they're also long-term supporters that already have a vested interest in them. So that's why crypto gaming nodes make sense. If you want to understand the breakdown of what I just said, let's give Myria, for example, one of our best plays in the crypto gaming node ecosystem. By the way, none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you to get Myria nodes. We've already gotten our return on investment. But here's the breakdown on it. So day zero was part of the first year halving cycle. They have halving cycles like Bitcoin every 4 years. Some of them it's every year. Some of them it's every 6 months. They all have their own little schedules, right? But the idea is it starts with 12 million Myria that's given out every single day. They have a certain amount of nodes that end up working out, and depending on the amount of these nodes, it's just split between them all. For example, if it's 5,000 nodes that are operating or being used, then it's 2,000 Myria being given every day, or $30. However, that's not the case right now. There are actually more nodes than that. There's somewhere around 9,000 nodes. So a more realistic expectation of what you'd be earning for a Myria node right now would be $16 every month. And if you divide it by the current price of nodes, they're right now at $6,200. If you divide it by 16, it takes somewhere around 387 days or about a year to get your return on investment, which, by the way, is still good. If it's anywhere from a year to a year and a half, that's my personal golden pocket level of, okay, this is good value. Anything below that, it's either severely overvalued as a token because all these emissions are based on tokens, or it's just a good deal. Like, that's just how it is. So that's how I do my due diligence on the pricing structures for nodes. Now, there are multiple node structures overall. For example, the first one that got really popular was Delysium, with their offering of 1,000 USDT for the first 10,000 nodes. And then after that, every 100 nodes went up in price by 25. So you see here, they're giving 50,000 away. They have a fixed price for the first 10,000, and then it goes up over time. I personally don't like these models because of the fact that, yes, you raise a lot of money early on, but then you have kind of a lot of trouble selling out in the latter ends. However, this is the big however, that doesn't necessarily mean that a node ecosystem does bad, because some people think that just because these nodes exist, that there's no way, there's so much selling pressure constantly. Delysium hit all-time highs, right? So if you want any, TLDR of like, wait, these might actually be a good idea, this is what it is. And something you need to understand is a lot of these nodes will look very similar. All these node ecosystems will be going down and down and down and down to the depths. And then all of a sudden, they just have that massive breakout from all of the whales finally pushing the project and it just killing it with innovation. So that's the idea behind these. There are many more charts that I could go ahead and show you, and I will show you, but let's go over the next node model, which is the Zai node model, where, of course, again, 50,000 nodes will exist. The nodes will start at $300, and the price will increase with every tier. You're going to notice that the first 10,000, they're not all fixed pricing. They change over time. 3,000 keys, 300. 3,000 keys to 345. And it just goes less and less and less and less. And it implies a certain valuation. For example, with Zai, if you buy a tier 4 node, the fully diluted valuation would have been like $10 million. And you're like, what does that even mean? Well, if you go onto CoinMarketCap and click these plays, if you had gotten into Zai, you would have made a killing, because right now the implied fully diluted value for Zai is $3.4 billion. Yeah, that's with a B. So people that got early on with Zai absolutely killed it with Zai nodes. And that's kind of the idea. They keep raising money. It's exponential over a certain amount of keys. There are different ones. This is the last one that's really popular. It's the Gala node structure, which is a little bit less popular these days. But what it is, they kind of change this. It fluctuates between like 100 to 500 every 100 nodes. And that just keeps going up and up and up and up until $100,000 per node. That's the idea behind it. These are the most expensive by far, which is why these days it's not as popular. And Zai is what like the golden child of nodes is looking like right now. Because people that got into Zai, they made a ton of money. You should know, now that we've gotten all this out there, that you have to run the nodes typically. Node running, you have to verify for this blockchain. Remember I was talking about DePIN? Well, here it is. There are a couple places you can go to. NerdNode is the one that I prefer for my Myriad nodes, for example. You can see here's $25 per month. Here's for the Gala Founders nodes. It's from a Gala OG. There are other ones like NodeOps, which is doing something for Hytopia. They also have Zai Sentry node setups. They're also, like, if you're into just doing it yourself, there's stuff like Vulture that exists where you can pay a certain amount for a certain amount of cloud computing. This changes for every node, so you need to do your own research on the specifications. But yes, you do have to run a device, even if it's a virtual device, somewhere in the world to be able to get your rewards. And something you should also know is that a lot of these newer nodes are not allowing people from certain countries because of regulation. You're watching this video, I guarantee a good amount of you are from the United States. And here it is, you can't pass KYC if you're in the US. So, either you're somewhere else, right? Or you got something else going on. You can't get into these. So it is limited to certain places because of regulation. It's something you should know before buying. Please do your own research. I don't want you to get stuck just because you were in the US and then all of a sudden you're kind of screwed out of it. There are also nodes, like Hytopia, for example, that just sold out. We were pushing our code JAM. We did excellent. Thank you for everyone supporting us. It's up 245% in the past month alone. It's doing pretty well. It's kind of just been doing its thing. And, ecosystems like Hytopia building out their own chains makes a ton of sense. In terms of things that I'm looking forward to, there's the DePIN sector with Aether Cloud. They're doing cloud computing. Think of things like NVIDIA, $2 trillion stock. Aether Cloud is just giving people computing power to be able to run things, and not only gaming, but AI as well. They are just absolute slayers. We're going to be personally minting this out on Legion. If you're getting into Aether Cloud, use code JM, because sure as hell that I'm going to be pushing this. I'm also going to be linking this in the description as well for anybody that wants to read through everything, because there's a lot of things you should read about DePIN if you're getting into the space. There are also Portal Coin, which is doing nodes as well. I don't have the lowdown on this, but I sure as heck am going to get into Portal. The pre-sale for Portal gave people astronomical returns. I'm talking about this thing's in the billions of dollars worth of FDV. Also a gaming play. Another one you should know about is the Gonzilla nodes, which the Gonzilla nodes are, by the way, being sold off in venture capital funds. They're going ahead and giving people Gonzilla nodes, which is interesting. It's going to have the game Off the Grid, which Off the Grid is just so hyped right now. It's Play Off the Grid? Okay, there it is. Yeah. So it's a next-gen cyberpunk free-to-play battle royale coming to PC, PS5, and for the first time in crypto history, Xbox Series X. So there's a lot of ways you can get into this ecosystem. Hopefully, I gave you the TLDR on crypto nodes. If I did, click that like button, subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Until the next time, stay classy, and that's all.